about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really.
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy Figured Out. How is it the middle of September, first of all? Second of all, so I'm kind of in a reading slump. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you the number of books I've read so far this month, and you're gonna be like, Isabel, you are not in a reading slump and I'm gonna kick your ass. And that's fine, but like, take it in context of my normal reading. I have only read 5 books this month, and I've read like 8 manga, because it's 30 and 30 this month, so like, obviously I'm trying to read 30 volumes of manga. I'm behind. We'll see. I'm gonna try and catch up this weekend. Pretty much Friday to Sunday is like my catch-up days, and fingers crossed, maybe I can read a ton. I mean, I can do it. I'm in a weird reading mood. I don't know what I want to read. Like, nothing's tickling like that, like part of my brain that is like, ooh, yes, this book. But I am in progress on a couple good ones, and the 5 that I have read for the most part were good. And then the 8 manga I've read so far have been bomb. So maybe I need to just pivot a little and read more manga instead this month. I don't know. I'm a mess. Welcome to my channel. All right, so let's talk about the 5 books I've read, the manga I've read so far, and then I'll tell you about what I'm currently reading still, and give you a little taste for something coming on Sunday. With some of these books that I've read so far and what I'm currently reading. So first of all, I did read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, which I have a physical copy of, and I could hold that up if I was in any way prepared, but I'm not, so here's a picture of it. I really, really liked the story of Piper and Brandon, whatever, B-name, that guy. Hot fisherman guy. That's all I need, okay? Hot, rugged fisherman. Tell me less. Like, it's like lumberjack. Like, I'm just like, yes, please, give me. I have a type. Anyways, I read this on my drive up to Kentucky. In that vlog, I talked about it some, but I had such a blast with this book. It was a 5-star for me, maybe a 4.5, 4.75 sort of situation, but not quite. I honestly cannot believe how much I loved this book. I did not expect it. I mean, I knew I would like it. Like, Tessa Bailey always works for me to some extent. I've never given a Tessa Bailey 2 stars. I've always rated them like 3 and up. And to me, that's a consistent author. I'm not gonna love every single work they put out, but I pretty consistently like 4 or 5-star her reads, and It Happened One Summer was so good. I love that Piper, our female main character, is not your typical heroine that we see in these books. You know, she's a little ditzy, I guess would be the word. I don't know, like, what we should call it. And she doesn't always make the best choices. She's kind of just floating by in life a little bit, but has like celebrity to carry her through. But also, people are really shitty to her about her like influencer status and how she's able to use that to like kind of make money, I guess. I don't know really if she makes money from it, but gets stuff. And I just think like it's such a discredited job, because it is a job. Like, people who really like do influencer stuff, like, it's a job. Booktube can be a job. Like, these things can be jobs. Like, they really can, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's no shame in it. And I just really like how she gets like thrown into remodeling this bar with her sister, and like they meet all the locals, and it's like comedic levels way up here. The smut, the steam, the sex was way up here. It was so solid, and that's why I gave it 5 stars. I loved reading it on my whole drive. Like, it was so good. I loved their reunion when like she left him, like their 3rd act breakup, and how he like confessed his feelings to her and they made up. And I loved how he was just like trying to show her he could like provide for her in ways she's sort of used to. But then she's also like, I don't need those things. It just was very sweet. Very, very sweet. And I really liked it. And then on a book I didn't like as much, Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is sapphic. I thought I would love it. We all know I love sapphic books. They're one of my faves. Love reading about women falling in love with each other. Like, it's just so fun, and non-binary people, etc. Like, in general, that whole spectrum. I just love reading those stories, and I really wanted to love this, but I felt like the setting and the place, like all of that in the story, were excellent, and I loved that. Like, it was like Christmas time, the like loose Pride and Prejudice sort of situation with like grumpy hair, one grumpy love interest and like one kind of sweeter love interest. That all was spectacular, but it just lacked the chemistry I wanted out of it. I didn't like, and I struggle with this in a lot of sapphic books sometimes, where I feel like the chemistry is lacking. You know, it wasn't a thing of like, oh, this author's never like been with a woman or doesn't understand how like females having sex work, because it's not that, there's not much sex in this book, but there is like, I don't know, it just like lacked something, like something was missing. Now, I did like it enough to tell you that I'm totally going to read the next book called Hang the Moon, and I will probably also read the third one, because I'm just curious enough that if I like Hang the Moon, I will obviously read the third book. If I don't like it, she's on my not gonna try anymore author list probably. It takes a lot for me to be like, absolutely not. So we'll see. I just, a little disappointed. Then I read Take It by Shay Sanders. This is my members book pick of the month, one of two. I couldn't pick this month, we had a tie, so I was like, we'll just do both. So this is one of them. And I read this with my members and we talked about it in the Discord, and so far everyone that's read it has really liked it, and I agree, this is a solid 4-star short smutty book, right? This features a workplace romance, and it's so short, like it's like 50 pages, and yet somehow Shay Sanders delivers in a way that I was not expecting for something that's 50 pages. Like, it had perfect build up. I wasn't icked out by the boss relationship, and like, he wasn't her boss for very long and how it all unfolded. It just worked really, really well, and I really enjoyed it. It just was a fun, dirty book, and who doesn't love a fun, dirty book? Then I read Chastely Bitten by Lexi C. Foss. This is my first ever Lexi C. Foss. This is book 1 in the Blood Alliance series, and I gave this 4 stars. More final thoughts will come in the vlog on Sunday. If you want to guess what I'm reading this for, take a guess in the comments. It's not a surprise. I feel like people know something's coming, but you just didn't know when. So I read this for a vlog that I have coming Sunday, and this is a darker-ish paranormal, which I feel like all paranormals are kind of dark. But this one like is basically like they kind of sell these virgins that are like a pure blood, and this Darius buys her, and Juliet is her name, and she's been like trained to be like this perfect mistress situation, I guess, but usually they like get used and abused and then like thrown back to go be bred to make more of this bloodline. And I liked it, and I thought it was really, really good, and I really liked Darius as a hero. I did have some quibbles with how our heroine was treated overall and some of her behavior. It just felt weird how okay she was with some stuff and then not okay at times. I don't know, it just didn't mesh completely. But I did like it enough that I'm definitely picking up book 2 in this series, and I want to read more from Lexi C. Foss, because like this was just fun at the end of the day. This was really fun. The last book I read was Sweet Hand by N.G. Peltier. Same thing, this is going in the vlog. This is an enemies to lovers, childhood friends, childhood acquaintances, enemies to lovers. She's a baker, and he is like a behind the scenes music person, like produces stuff. And it follows them kind of hooking up basically after a lot of bickering and delightfulness while they're best man and maid of honor for a wedding. And it's just really fun. I really liked the way forced proximity worked in this book, and I thought it was really, really enjoyable to watch them, to read about them falling in love. Like, it just was cute. Like, I really liked their relationship. There was like a brief caretaking scene where she was sick and he brought her soup and made sure she ate it. It was very cute. Yeah, it just was good. Like, it was a fun time. There was also a really great scene with consent stuff in it where like she was tipsy and he was like, we're not doing anything, you were too drunk for this. Like, absolutely not. And I appreciate that. I don't think we get that enough in books. A lot of times the male main character is like, hell yeah, let's go. And I'm like, man, could you not, like, can you be like, let's get you to bed, let's take some medicine and go to sleep, and when you're sober we can mess around. If you still want to do that. Like, I just want more of that in my books, especially with somebody in like a newer relationship. But yeah, it just was really cute, and I loved how it all came together. I loved his like love confession grovel thing. It was hilarious, and it really worked well for me. And yeah, this was fun, and I liked their bickering, and her cat's name is Jello, which obviously I have pets with food names, so I'm biased. I do hate Jello though. Jello is disgusting, but that's beyond the point. I am only briefly going to run through the manga I've read so far this month and give you star ratings. I'm not going to give you big summaries because At the end of the month, I will be wrapping up my Q3 manga reading / 30 and 30. And that's gonna be like a lot of completed series, so I think it makes more sense to like, here's my stack so far. I'm very proud of myself. I feel like I'm doing pretty good, especially since I was traveling the first chunk of the month. And yeah. So I gave 4 stars to Donuts Under the Crescent Moon, Volume 2. I gave 5 stars to A Sign of Affection, Volume 3. It's a little shiny. I gave both of these like 4.5 stars, so this is Something's Wrong With Us, Volume 5. And Volume 6. The cliffhanger on this though, like 5 stars. Honestly, a thriller romance manga, this is it. Sweat and Soap, Volume 8, I gave 5 stars to. I cannot believe we are marching up on the end of this and I am not ready. I'm gonna cry a whole bunch when this ends. Zom 100, 300? No, Zom 100. This is a weird zombie apocalypse manga. Gave it 3 stars. I have Volume 2 to read, so look for that in my wrap up later this month. Yakuza Lover Volume 2, I gave 4.5, 5 stars to. This was so good. Even dirtier than Volume 1, so we love that. And I just really, really enjoyed it overall. I think this was a fun time, and I can't wait for Volume 3. Then I read Strawberry Fields once again. I gave this 4 stars. I thought this was a really interesting Volume 1. She travels back in time, supposedly to meet her like one true love when they were younger. I need to pick up the next few volumes so I can see where this is going. And then Our Teachers Are Dating Volume 1 I read, and this was like, this is like Sweat and Soap for me, but sapphic, basically. And I'm really enjoying it. It's really, really cute. And at one point the kids were like cheering on their teachers for dating, and I think I gave this 4.5 or 5 stars. I'm not 100% sure, but I really enjoyed it. Last but not least, of course, is my currently reading shelf to give you a little preview of what's coming by the end of the month. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a book on here that has been on there for a while, but I'm going to finish it this month, I promise you. First up, the most recent book I started was The Heart Principle by Helen Wong. I did get an audio arc of this from Libro FM this month, so I've started on that. I'm just kind of gonna take my time a little bit with it, not too much, but enough that I don't rush myself, because this is the last one in the series, and I know that a lot is coming emotionally with this book, and we'll see how I do. Again, I don't like to feel big emotions always in a book, but I know like I'm gonna be taken care of at the same time when it's romance, so that helps. I'm also about just over halfway through Evil Twin by Katie Wilde, and I'll probably finish this before this video goes up. I've started Birthday Shop by Rosalie Adams. I think I'm like 10% in. I just started it and forgot I started it, to be honest with you. Your girl's a mess. And then the last one is Stolen by the Wolves by Lix Robinson. I am like 60% through this, and I'm going to finish it this month. I'm really liking it. It's just such a slow build fantasy that it is taking me, the cat is playing. Anyways, it's such a slow build fantasy, it's taking me a while, but I am enjoying it for the most part, and I will probably continue the series when all the last 2 books are out and I can just marathon through them maybe. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about the ending. I just like, we're not really to the full Omegaverse part, and I'm just like, that's what I'm waiting for. I've also been reading some fan fiction, and I will be talking to you about that later this month as well. I'm going to do a whole video on some of the fan fiction I read lately, because that's kind of where I'm going right now. As far as my not reading, I feel like I'm like more interested in that path a little bit. Again, I'm a mess. It's fine. I'll probably read a whole bunch the last half of the month after I told you I feel like I'm not reading at all, so who knows. Let me know if you have any emotional books you think I should check out. Maybe I should do like an emotional reading vlog, because I don't do a lot of emotional books. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a rainbow emoji in the comments, because I read a bunch of sapphic manga and I read a sapphic book. So I'm just living my best like queer woman life over here. Yeah, so leave me that in the comments, and you will find links to all the books I talked about in that description box, as well as links to Be My Friend anywhere on the internet, and I will see y'all in a few days. Bye.
We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.